Ever get this weird feeling like all this technology that's supposed to be connecting us is actually making us feel, I don't know, more alone?
It's true, though. It's like more ways to stay in touch than ever, but loneliness is like a bigger deal now than ever, right?
Right. Makes you think. So we're diving into Lydia Kostopoulos' book, this time Imagination Workout.
Ah, good one. And chapter 6, especially leaning into our humanity, really fits with what we've been talking about, don't you think?
Totally. It's like she's pointing out this weird irony.
Yeah.
We're becoming more isolated, even though we're more digitally connected than ever.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if maybe we're like trading real intimacy for just this illusion of connection, you know?
It's like having 1,000 online friends, but still feeling completely invisible.
Exactly. And it gets weirder, like all these possibilities out there, but so many young people just want to be influencers.
It's like they're chasing likes and followers in the very system that might be making them feel empty in the first place, right?
It is. We're so focused on what tech can do, we forget to ask if it should, you know, or how it actually helps us be human.
Totally. Like building a bullet train before knowing where it's going, or if anyone wants to get on board in the first place.
But then there's the irony, all these gadgets meant to give us more time just made most of us busier.
Tell me about it. Work-life balance, what's that? But
Yeah.
okay, so technology can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Where's the good stuff?
Well, Kostopoulos talks about how technology is being used to tackle some of our most basic needs, like the need for connection, intimacy even.
Okay, now you're talking. Tell me more.
So have you heard of this app, Replica?
Vaguely. Like an AI friend, right?
More than that, really. It's designed to be this AI companion. You can have like really realistic conversations with it, even get emotional.
Okay, that's both cool and kind of creepy at the same time.
Right. And the story behind it is even wilder. The founder, Eugenia Kuda, she lost a close friend. So she used all his digital stuff, texts, emails, everything, and created this AI chatbot that was like him.
No way. So she brought her friend back to life. Digitally speaking, of course.
In a way, yeah. But what's crazy is that people loved it, not just because it was like her friend, but just to have something that would listen without judgment, you know?
I get it, though. A lot of people crave that feeling of being heard, even if it's by a bot. No wonder they've got millions of users.
Exactly. And there's even studies saying it could be good for mental health. Like a small percentage of Replica users said it actually stopped them from suicide.
Wow. That's incredible. But also a little unsettling, you know. What does it say about the future of human connection if we're relying on AI for this?
Big questions, right? But it shows how tech can help with things like loneliness. So I've got AI friends. What else? What about this 3D printed house thing?
Okay, yeah. They're printing actual houses now. How does that even work?
It's pretty wild. There's this company, Icon, and they've got this tech that basically prints an entire house layer by layer with this special concrete mix.
No way. And they're doing this with, like, real families, not just prototypes.
Real families, they're partnered with this nonprofit news story. They build homes for people who need them. And it's not just about being fast and cheap, although that's huge, especially with climate change and all. These homes are built to last fires, hurricanes, whatever.
So it's about more than just shelter. It's about safety and security.
Exactly. And get this. They even created an AI, Vitruvius, that lets people design their own homes just by, like, describing what they want.
Wait, seriously. So I could just say, I want a cozy cabin with a big fireplace, and it'll make it happen.
Well, you get the idea. It's about putting people in charge of their own spaces.
Mind-blowing. But man, with all this new tech popping up every minute, it's hard to keep up, you know? Where do we even fit in all of this?
That's where this idea of imagining through humanity comes in, right? We shouldn't be scared of the tech. We should use our imaginations to make it work for us.
And she talks about using first principles thinking, cultural engagement, and compassion. I like that.
Yeah, they all kind of work together. But hey, let's take a break and then we can dig into those, all right?
So before the break, we were talking about imagining through humanity and like first principles thinking, right? Break that down for me. It sounds kind of complicated.
It's actually pretty simple. I bet you already do it sometimes.
I do.
Yeah, totally. So like Kostopoulos, she uses this example. Imagine you're designing a car from scratch. You wouldn't get stuck on how cars are now. You'd be like, what does a car need to do? Like at its most basic.
Take you from one place to another.
Boom. Exactly. You just cut through all the noise and got to the core of it. So then think about like AI and the future of jobs. Instead of freaking out about robots taking over, it's like, okay, if AI can do all this stuff, what's the point of work even for?
Whoa. Yeah, that is much better and less scary question.
Right. It totally changes your thinking. And that's where cultural engagement comes in, you know?
I was just about to ask about that.
It's like you take those first principle insights and then like filter them through human experience. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So like through art, music, books, all that stuff, even just like experiencing different cultures.
Exactly. It's about understanding what it means to be human, all the messy stuff too. And the more we get that, the better we can use technology to actually help people, not just like be a shiny distraction.
So it's not enough to just be good with tech. You got to be like a good person too.
Pretty much. Although good person is like a whole other can of worms,
No,
right?
true. Okay, so where does compassion fit into all this? Isn't that more like a personal thing?
Oh, it's definitely personal, but it's also like essential for building a better future, especially with all this technology, because compassion helps us actually do something with what we understand.
It's like knowing about a problem isn't enough. You got to actually care enough to fix it.
Exactly. And Kostopoulos, she's big on self-compassion too, like being kind to ourselves and all this craziness.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I suck at that.
Right. We're so hard on ourselves. She has this great line, would you talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself in your head?
Ouch. Probably not.
What's-
Not even close.
Right. But when we can be kind to ourselves, we're more open to new stuff, less afraid to try things. And that's huge when it comes to tech, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's all changing so fast.
So to recap, first principles thinking helps us ask the right questions. Cultural engagement opens up our minds, and compassion helps us actually connect with all, like on a human level.
Exactly. It's like this feedback loop. They all work together. And it's not just some pie-in-the-sky idea either. Kostopoulos gives tons of real-world examples like, remember Icon and those 3D printed houses?
Yeah, building actual houses with a printer. Crazy.
I know. And they're doing it in a way that's like good for the planet and affordable. But what's really cool is how they're using this technology to give people power, you know?
Okay, tell me more. I'm hooked.
So they partnered with News Story, right? To build homes for people who need them. Well, these houses are built to last. Like seriously, they can handle fires, tornadoes, you name it.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like they're building security right into the walls, especially for people who've never really had that.
Right. And then there's Vitruvius, that AI we were talking about. It lets people actually design their own homes, like just by describing what they want.
Wait, seriously, I can be like, I want a tree house with a slide and a secret room, and it'll just like make it happen.
Well, maybe not the secret room, but you get the idea. It's about letting people create their own spaces, you know, not just settling for what someone else thinks is best.
That's amazing. It's like something out of a sci-fi book, but in a good way this time.
Totally. And it shows how technology can be used for creativity and expression, not just like replacing us altogether.
This is blowing my mind. It's easy to get all doom and gloom about AI, but Kostopoulos, she actually makes the future seem kind of hopeful.
She does. And she gives really practical advice, too. Like anyone can be an imaginator, not just tech geniuses.
Okay, I'm listening. How do we do it?
Well, one thing she talks about is the importance of cultivating a beginner's mind.
Beginner's mind. What's that? Like forgetting everything I know. Beginner's mind. What's that? Like forgetting everything I know.
Not exactly. It's more about approaching stuff with this, like, fresh sense of curiosity, you know, like you're seeing it for the first time. Think about how kids do that.
Oh, for sure. Always asking why. Always getting into everything.
Exactly. They come up with the coolest ideas because they haven't learned to, like, put limits on their thinking yet.
So true. I used to build forts out of like blankets and pillows, and it would feel like I was creating a whole world. You know,
No.
I think I lost that somewhere along the way.
Happens to all of us. We get stuck in what we already know and stop asking questions, but you can get that beginner's mind back. Just got to be open to new stuff, even if it kind of freaks you out a little.
So be okay with not knowing everything.
Yes, because then you see what's possible instead of what's not. And that's when the real fun starts, both for you and for, like, coming up with cool new tech.
I like that. So how do we like actually do that? Do I need to start meditating or something?
Meditation's cool, but Kostopoulos talks a lot about just paying attention to everything, your surroundings, your own thoughts, even just how things work.
Being more present,
Yeah.
mindful, or whatever they call it.
Exactly. When you're really present, you start noticing all these little details you'd usually miss. And those details can spark some awesome ideas.
The world is full of magic, right? You just got to look for it.
Yes. And the more you look, the more you find. And don't be afraid to, like, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Try new things, meet new people, you know?
Travel, food, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing how other people live makes you question what you think you know. And that's like rocket fuel for the imagination.
This has been amazing.
Appeal.
It's so easy to get all freaked out about AI and robots and stuff, but Kostopoulos, she makes it clear that we have a choice in all of this. We can actually shape the future with our imaginations.
That's what I took from it, too. It's about being human, even more so now with all this tech around us.
Absolutely. So any last words of wisdom for our listeners as they head out into the world ready to imagine all the things?
Okay, so think about something you use every day, your phone, your computer, whatever, and ask yourself, how can I use this to connect more deeply with, like, my own humanity and with other people? Seems simple, but that question can really change how you see
I
things.
love that because tech is just a tool, right? It's up to us to figure out how to use it to build the future we want.
100%.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We'll catch you next time.